All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the presentation on the Sepânioi Rotî. Here you're going to kind of learn a bit of an introduction first about our tradition and what we're trying to do here, and the kind of approach that we're taking. Here you can see our little image here of that was made by Arkathos. Very nice of him to make this for us. And it's an image of a wheel with some knotwork patterns in it, and we have a falcon, a hound, and a hare going around in a circle, because Sepânioi Rotî means disciples of the wheel, and it's all about the wheel going round and round and round. And there's lots of interpretations when it comes to why we picked the falcon, the hound, and the hare, but the metaphors and the iconography for them can work in various amount of ways, and aren't really well agreed on, because everything is liminal and everything counts a little bit of each other. So it's up to each own how you interpret the hound, the hare, and the falcon within the tradition. So it's about balance, joy, and change in daily practice. So we kind of developed this out of the worship of Taranis and the Dewoi, and we really wanted to kind of get out of our religion something that is integral to our daily lives, and something that really pushes us to being the best that we can be. And just by how we're going to do that, making everything something that we're passionate about, by making everything piety in a way. So it's all about the wheel and spinning the wheel forward, of the Taranis, and the struggle of the cosmos, like every day, to keep things going, or else we're going to fall back towards entropy. So how does that work? In devotional acts, I mentioned before, a lot of things are become piety in this tradition. So either as a sacrifice in our expression of skills, this is how we deepen our relationships with the Dewoi. Something like arts and crafting, carving something, or it could just even be, giving our time to something to improving ourselves and the community around us, and just enrichment in general. That's sacrifice. That is devotional. And that's how we choose to look at the world in a way of us putting ourselves into it and improving it. So yeah, it's doing things everyday small actions. We're not talking about like doing huge big things. We're just talking about doing good things every day for ourselves and for the people around us, because ultimately taking care of yourself, and this is going to be going into more detail later in our various, 3 spheres of Sepânioi Rotî. Taking care of yourself is taking care of the people around yourself. It's all like if we're all individuals as part of a community, you need to treat yourself as a community member. So it's all about within the intention and the piety behind an act. So, as I mentioned before, the wheel, keep it turning, like the turning the heavens, and it could represent a lot of things, like the progression of time, the cycle of birth and rebirth, and an engine of change, because it's important to us, to keep the wheel turning, because if it stops, it's entropy, and it doesn't need to be, and that might sound like it's really hard, difficult metaphor, but we're not talking about hard, difficult things at all. We're just talking about doing a little bit every day that is part of our lifestyle and part of who we are, and that's kind of what is the identity of ourselves as a Sepânioi Rotî. Just keeping the wheels going forward. Yourself at the center of the wheel, the spokes going outward. Of the different ways that you're devoting yourself to self-improvement and to the community, and it keeps the wheel around it, the rim of the wheel, spinning. So we have a couple things we like to keep in mind when we're, when we're going out through our day. We have our tenets. It's important to focus on balance. The world around you and that cosmic level, and in your own life, like there's different levels of intensity of it, and it's good to have balance in all things, because it's like you don't want to be overwhelmed in one way or another, and to have a little bit of everything or a lot of everything, however the way you want to see it, because it's about the struggle of Taranis versus the forces of chaos. It's not necessarily about, because if order prevails, then it's no longer order, it's entropy, and then you keep going and you have to fight entropy again. It's the idea of the continual push forward, not really standing still, not really, of course, taking time to rest and taking time for self-care, but also not falling into entropy, not falling into stagnation, always improving your personal skills and yourselves as you go through the day. There's spread joy and happiness, be the good that you want in the world. Like you improve the moods and the feelings of those around you. It's like, and it's going to come back to you, and it's going to spread out the whole community. It's like the whole, the cheesy idea of, like the one good deed a day or something like that too, or like the chain that goes on. You do something good for one person, and and it's going to continue on, and it's going to spread out throughout the whole community. The little butterfly effect. So it's just like, and it's not about doing big things. It's just being, having it part of who you are, just to live it, and finally, to nourish the soul. It's just taking time to enrich yourself, and realizing that, before you can really, take care of your community, you have to remember that you yourself are a community member first. And by taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the community, and you're taking care of the people around you. Just taking care of your and in different ways too, and just taking care of your body, taking care of your spirit. And there's different ways to go about doing that, and that's what we're going to explore in the different spheres. So another major idea in Sepânioi Rotî is the circle of gifting. We have some nice, lovely loaves of bread, and that is very important. And in Gaulish, it's the Cultivate Rotî, and it's I give that you may give, and you give that I may give. And this is something that is prevalent, in different polytheistic circles as well. It's an idea of you give, yes, bread is important, but it's just about the idea of giving it and not really expecting anything in return. It's giving to, so another person might be able to give, not with an expectation, just to improve the wealth and the quality and the quantity of the people in the world around you. You don't give for an idea of a direct transaction back to you. You give for enrichment, of the enrichment of the world. So yes, and yeah, we give in, in thanks, and it's like it's the the whole idea that kind of gets underneath our skin of like the idea of giving to a deity for an expectation of that you're going to get something in return. Life and interacting with your community is never about that. It's always about, you're doing it because you're appreciative, and because you want to, and there is no other better reason than that. No other better reason to give to your community. It's giving to someone else is just a good thing. So every offering is a continuation of an endless cycle, one of generosity between the Dewoi, humanity, and ourselves. It's all about the continuation, the spinning of the wheel, like giving and progressing on. It's like kind of like economics. The economy works because we're all kind of passing like transactions between ourselves. And this is the same idea of it, like the idea of change and the spinning of the wheel works because we're always passing things between ourselves, through the circle of gifting, and and just giving back to the community and then giving back to ourselves, and knowing by enriching the space around yourself, you're enriching like life for yourself as well. So turning the wheel is like, offering is only small part of that. So the whole idea that we're behind is that it's a struggle against the chaos, and to keep everything turning to putting yourselves into your communities and making them better. A bit of an idea of a concept that I had for the Sepânioi Rotî as we were founding it. The three main founders are myself, Morikuno, and Ren, actually. Artosectos came a little bit later, and then we had Narathis came a little bit later, and then we have Reno Taros came a little bit later. But this has all been like our brainchild together as we're kind of figuring it out. Where one of the metaphors I had for is kind of like the the Knights of Columbus, but for the Dewoi. That's the idea that we're giving back to our community, and we're improving it, and we're making it better. And that's what we want to do. We want to be part of that struggle against chaos, and just to improve the world around us. The spelling of those names. I just kind of went through them a little bit quickly, so it's like I'll ping them after the presentation, just so you can show like all the members of it, or you can just check the roles, because we have a role in the server for the Sepânioi Rotî. Next, we're going to talk about the Summer Swarm, because this is more about the individual, who falls underneath the banner of Sepânioi Rotî. So the Tsamo Textos, I probably slaughtered that pronunciation, but it's the idea of the being a messenger of the divine summer, like inside and outside. Kind of what I was talking about before, of improving the community through looking after yourself and looking after the people around you. So we take the gifts given to us by the Dewoi and improve ourselves and our communities. So it's just about taking the concepts and the philosophy of the Sepânioi Rotî and living it every day. And that's that's who we are. In Sepânioi Rotî, we are the Summer Swarm. Yeah, I apologize if I'm going a little bit too quickly. Yeah, we'll have the recordings up. So yeah, we strive to cultivate joy, peace, and balance in our lives and those around us. So yeah, so part of it is honoring the Dewoi in our daily lives and dedicating all those things that lead to the betterment of oneself and one's community. It's all about the little acts every day, and just becoming like part of your habit, and just turning things that are ordinarily, would be a hard thing for yourself to do if you're not in the habit of it, to do even once. There's something that's building up a habit, so you're doing it every day, and it's just fitting into your schedule and having enrichment in your life as a result of that. You want me to say Semo Textos? I think that was a little bit better of a pronunciation. Okay, so it's a new custom where we kind of are trying to figure it out as we go along, because we're much newer than BNG, and we're still trying to develop things as we go. So there's lots of things that we're still imagining and discussing with each other, and everyone kind of joins and takes the oath of summer. That's how we join, is that you kind of devote yourself to the particular deities of your choice, who kind of fit the ideals of the wheel turning. Of course, with always with Taranis in there, because he's an integral part to it. And it's all about collaboration, and looking after each other and looking after the community as a whole, and that's what we do here. So So this is just a little bit of an introduction. We're gonna be switching over, and we're gonna go over the three spheres of the Sepânioi Rotî. So yes, thank you for pinging all the current members of the Summer Swarm, and we'll be going into the nitty gritty details of it, and you'll be able to really hopefully get a better understanding of how we interact with the world and how the world interacts with us, so to speak.